How yins doing? We're going to take a look at photopia.com today, which is a website that lets you do photo editing, drawing, uh, design, all that kind of stuff. It's basically Photoshop, but as a website. So you don't have to install Adobe Photoshop. You don't have to do a whole bunch of stuff like that. If you have a computer, if you have internet access, you can get to this and start creating files. It's fantastic, and you can even open Photoshop files in it. If you don't know what Photoshop is, it's a pretty popular software for doing photo editing and poster design, drawing, sometimes even animation, and we'll take a look at Photopia right now. I'm going to show you how to use it by actually creating a collage, and we'll go over some of the tools while I create the collage. On my desktop, let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit. On my desktop, I've got a folder called Collage. Inside of it, I've got a picture of my dog. Now, you can use whatever photo you want and you can start to play, but I just want you to be able to see some of these tools a little bit. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to hit X on this. Now let's go over to photopia.com. So I'm accessing it through Google Chrome. So like my Google account is linked up. So if you go to photopea.com, you will get to Photopia, and let's full screen this so we can see it. So this is Photopia. Now, if you want, you can create an account. An account is free, and let's go ahead and take a look at what it offers in that free account. You get full functionality. There are ads, and you can see the ads over here. There's 30 steps in history, so that's like your edit undo, so you can undo 30 times. In premium, which is a paid version, you can do up to 60. Now, I have found that this is fantastic with the free version. You don't have to create an account and you don't have to log in, but if you do and you associate an email with it, it will save your settings throughout everything. I'm going to go ahead and click login just to show you how easy this is. It just pops up a thing that says login with what? And I'm going to log in with Google, which is my Google email. Since I'm on Chrome right now, I can just select my email right here and it will log me in, Owen Lowry, ha-cha-cha. I'll hit X, and here we go. We can get started. So this is the layout. Over to the left here, we have all these tools we can use. Up top, we have all these drop-down menus, and over here, we have all these like setting windows where we can like pop out things like BRU pops out brushes, CHA character, so that's for like text. Par is for like paragraph and things like that. So we can pop those out and pop them back in. There's a few different things. There's like a property setting, but we don't need to get into that too much. Next to that, we have our history. We have swatches to show us colors, and below that we have layers, channels, paths. We'll talk a lot about layers in this video, but not about the other stuff. Up here, you'll see specific settings that change for your different tools. So right now I have the selection tool selected, but if I go to a different one, you'll see the settings up here change based on whatever tool I have selected. And that means so all of these tools change based on what I'm working with over here in this menu. Pretty fantastic. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and create a new document by going to File, New. So this brings up a bunch of templates here. I'm not so worried. I'm going to uncheck with symbols. I'm not even going to look at these templates. We're not going to worry about it. They have all these different settings over here you can do. So like for social media, Facebook, all that stuff, Instagram photos, things like that, YouTube profile. Print will be like A3, A4. These are all for like actually doing print sizes, or if you're going to print it on your printer. Photo will be for different common photo sizes. Screen will give you for like video stuff, so HD 1280 by 720 or full HD is 1920 by 1080 is really common. You'll also get something like mobile, so like the different phone settings, or ads, or 2N. I don't know what 2N is. Ads. I'm going to go over to screen. So we'll create this in full HD, 1920 by 1080 pixels. I'm going to click on that one right there. So it changes these settings up here, 1920 by 1080 with DPI, dots per inch there. We can change what we want our background color to be, white, transparent, or background. I'm going to leave it at white. I'm going to leave these pixels now, and I'm just going to name this Doggo Collage, because I'm doing a collage with my dog. And I'm going to hit Create. And now we get this new white window. And in this white window, we can start to actually draw and move things around. If I want to zoom in and out, I can hold down Control or Command on my keyboard and hit minus or plus on my keyboard. I can also go to this right here, this zoom tool, which looks like a little magnifying glass. Let me zoom into the zoom tool. This little magnifying glass. I'll zoom out now. And you can just click on that to zoom in. If you hold down Alt and click, you'll see that little, let's go ahead and see how that looks. So, whoops, sorry. Boop, boop, boop. So you'll see that that's the zoom tool. If I hold down Alt, it goes from a plus to a minus. So when it goes to the minus and I click, it zooms out. The plus clicks in. So like your Alt key on your keyboard is going to be your friend. It loves you. So get used to using that shortcut. Things like Shift, Control, or Command on a Mac and Alt all help you to zoom in and out of stuff. So let's get back to the regular screen. But let's actually just start making stuff. Let's start making stuff. So I'm going up to the Selection tool at the top left here, or the Move tool. I'm going to go to File, Open, and Place. Open and Place. Open will open a new file. Open and Place will actually let you place it in the document. So I'll show you the difference in a sec, but I got to go to my desktop where my, I got so much on my desktop. Collage. And there's Maxilicious. So you can navigate to wherever you have your saved image. If you have something saved on your desktop, you could just go there. There's Maxilicious. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to click Open. And you'll notice it opens in that doggo collage, and we have these weird bounding boxes around it. So automatically it tries to make it the size of that, but if I go to the bounding box and I hover over it, you'll see that my pointer turns into this like double pointer, and I can click and drag and I can change the size. Now it's kind of getting wonky, but if I hold down Shift on my keyboard, it'll make it change the size, and it will do it what's called constrained proportions. So it actually holds it, makes sure it stays at like the actual size on the proportionally that it wants to be. Now I liked it where it was, so I'm going to leave it kind of up there and I'm going to hit Enter. And when I hit Enter, you'll see those things go away. And when those things go away, that means you can't like hover over the edge. That's called free transform. We'll look at how to do that in a sec. But also just to show you, if I go to File and I click Open instead of Open in Place and I click on Maxilicious, it opens it as a new document. So it's not in the doggo collage. It opens it up here and you can see it has this new document. I don't want that now, so I'm just going to exit out. But you can open images that way and edit the images themselves too. But this is creating a new .psd Photoshop document. So here we go. It's pretty cool. I've got my doggo there. I love my doggo. And now if you look, I can click on it and move it around on screen, which is cool. And you'll see over here we have two layers. One layer is called background, and that's this background. And if I try to move it, we get this thing that says layer is locked. And anything I'm selected on is what I'll move. And you can see this little lock there. I can unlock it by clicking on that, or I can lock it by coming up here and clicking all. See next to that lock? That will relock it. And I can select Maxilicious and move him. But if I just want to be able to move whatever I have selected, or my mouse over, I can come up to these settings. Remember when I said there's different settings for everything? Make sure I have my Move tool selected up here and click Auto Select. Boom. And so I can move that around. And if I want to have transform controls like before, I can click on that transform control, so anytime I go to it, I have these transform controls. Now I'm going to hit Control or Command Z to edit undo, or you can go to Edit Undo. There's undo, redo, edit, undo. So I can do that, and I don't like having, I'm going to go back to my selection tool up here. I don't like having my transform controls all the time. So I'm just going to kind of uncheck that. Now here's what I want to do. I've got this awesome picture of my doggo, and well, also first I want to take a sip of water. And I want to cut him out of this picture. So I want to make it so I don't have this whole picture. I just have him. So we're going to use a selection tool here. And over here, if we come down over to the menu, there's object selection. I'm going to click on that. When you click and hold on something, and I'm clicking and holding on this thing that looks like the blob in the middle. Let me zoom in just a little bit. and we get options like object selection, quick selection, or magic wand. I'm going to change this to quick selection. All right. And what I want to do is use this quick selection to select out Maxi here. And you'll see it's giving me this little icon. And I'm going to go ahead and with my quick selection tool selected, I'm going to go up. Right now the size is 15. I'm going to make this a little bigger. So you can just click this to open and close it. So 50 should get me there. And now you can see I have a much bigger icon. Sweet. Now I'm going to click back on here. And then I'm going to click again. Oh, sorry. Boom. Smart object must be rasterized first. Okay, so this loaded as a smart object. So let's go ahead, go over to our layer window where Maxilicious is. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to select this word rasterize. Now it's rasterized, and so once it's rasterized, as you can see, let me hit Command Z to undo. If I go over to Maxi now and I click on him, you see I get these weird marching ants around everything. And so I selected him and it's selecting all these things that have similar pixel colors around it. But this selected too much, more than just my dog, so I want to get rid of some of these. So I can go up here, there's this plus and there's this minus, this subtract. I can click on the subtract and click in these different areas that I don't want. But as you can see, it's actually like getting rid of too much when I do that now. So I'm starting to lose pixels inside of Maxi. So now I can go back up to the plus and I can kind of click inside of him, and I can even click and drag a little bit. And so this is something you're going to have to play with, is getting this right. I can also hold down Alt to make this minus. If we look, I'm holding down Alt and now it's subtracting stuff. I can let go of it and I can once again start to add. And hold down Alt to subtract, Alt, let go of Alt to add, or if it's easier for you, you can just use the plus and minus here. I think my brush is a little too big, so I'm going to take it down just a little bit to about 21, so it's not getting so much stuff. I'll go back to plus, and I'll kind of click in and drag around here, and it's starting to get okay. Let's hit minus again, and drag down there. Kind of hit over here. Ooh, it takes a little time to get this right. Let's go ahead and hit plus again. And I'm actually going to hit Control and plus to zoom in. I'm hitting Control plus twice, getting that up there. I can also hold the space bar, and as long as I'm holding the space bar, it gives me this drag tool. So I can like kind of drag around, and I'm kind of coming around and just trying to refine this a little bit. Let's hit the minus again. Let's just try to hit some of this green. There we go. Some of this blue. There we go. And I'm being a little careful. Go to the plus again. This edge is a little difficult over here, as you can see. It doesn't like to be, it's making it hard on me because this black matches this black pretty well. And so what I'm trying to do, instead of dragging so much, I'm just trying to get enough so I'm just going to drag along this area a little bit. And I'm going to go back to the plus, and I'm going to drag along this area a little bit, and hopefully it's only going to color in the stuff that I really want. And now I'm just holding and dragging it instead of clicking. And it's starting to get there. So the more you do this, the better it learns. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm going to let go. I'm going to hit the minus. A little bit over here that I want to, and if I click and drag, it sometimes does a better job. Oh, got a little too much there. I'm going to hit the plus, go back in, and kind of get this right here. All right, I'm going to hit the Control minus a couple times. Yeah, there we go. This looks like it's probably going to be pretty good. So now I'm going to go up to this thing called Refine Edge at the top. I'll click on Refine Edge, and it's going to bring up a new kind of window. And this window lets us see this is what's selected, and this is what we have selected. And this looks really good right now. We also have this like border up here, which you can like take down. You'll see it's a bit sharper along these edges, or I can bring the border up a little bit and kind of smooths out those edges for me. The border at 2 might be good. Yeah, the border at 2 looks good. I'm going to hit OK. And when I do that, you'll notice Maxi is in front of this background. So I can turn on and off the eyeball. So if we go over here, and let me zoom in just a little bit to, whoops, wrong zoom thing. Let me hit this. Oh, my zoom isn't letting me do what I want it to do. It's okay. But if we go over here to the layers, you'll see there's Maxilicious, and this made a copy of it. So there's this eyeball next to these, and you can click on and off the eyeball and actually see the background in this copy. So it didn't destroy the first one. It just turned off its eyeball. So you're safe and you have it. This looks great. I have Maxi, and I can like go ahead and click him and move him. I have the auto select selected, so I can move him around, and he looks awesome. Cool. Now let's put in a new background. I want to put him in outer space. So I'm going to go ahead and open a new window on my actual browser. And I'm going to search for NASA Image Library. So NASA, the outer space program, has a free video library. There, NASA Image and Video Library, images.nasa.gov. And everything's free to use for whatever you want. So I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to go ahead and unclick video and audio, and I just want to search for images, and I'm just going to type in, let's say, Galaxy. Galaxy. What do we get for images in Galaxy? Oh, look at all this stuff. Oh, it's so pretty. Let's just try like space, S-P-A-C-E. There was an image I saw the other day that I really liked. Let's see. You know, how about we go back to, it might have been on their main page. So I'm going to hit back a couple times, and I'm going to go to most popular. There we go. So most popular, we can see like this image looks really good. There's a lot of really cool images in the most popular. So let's go ahead. This one's not bad. I'm going to go ahead and grab this one right here. I'm going to click on it. Now it's long, and I'm taking this long one for a very specific reason, so I can show you transform tools. I'm going to click download, and I'm going to go ahead and do a medium because I don't need it to be huge. And when you do that, it opens it up in a new window, and I can just right click in this window and click save image as. Now I'm going to navigate to, on desktop, I'm going to go to my collage folder, so I'm saving it in the same folder as everything else, and I can just rename this to like Space Pick and hit save. So I've now saved that into the Space Picks. I'm going to go to Photopia again. I'm going to File, Open and Place. And I'm going to go to that Space Pick, and I'll hit Open, and you'll notice it automatically makes it the top and bottom size, and it brings it to this transform thing. So what I'm going to do is if I hover, and let me go ahead and just zoom in just a little bit. I'm hitting Control and plus on my computer. Let's hit Control minus. That was too much. I can go ahead and I can change the size. I don't want to do that. Command Z. Uh-oh. I accidentally, by hitting Command Z, placed it at this size. Whatever will I do now? Well, we can go to Free Transform. I'm going to go to Edit, Free Transform, which brings me those controls again. So if I hover to the side of this, you'll see like I can actually have that double arrow, or I get this curved one. And with this curved one, when I select and drag, it turns it. If I hold Shift, it'll turn it in kind of like angles, so I can get it nice and straight there. I like that. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit Control minus on my keyboard again to zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to go to this top left edge. I'm going to click it and hold down Shift and drag it out. I can also hold down Shift and Alt at the same time, or Option if you're on a Mac, and I can drag it and it'll drag from the middle. Now I want it to just be a little bit bigger than my document, so I'll go ahead and drag it up to there. That looks good, and I'll just hit Enter on my keyboard. And now I can move around this outer space pick and it looks awesome. But it's in front of my dog. I want it behind my dog. So I'm going to go up to the layers here where Space Pick is. I'm going to click it. I'm going to drag it down so it's behind my dog. Awesome, Maxi. You look super rad. I'm going to kind of place this so it's just a little bit, so that white area is just behind him a little bit. Now that looks cool, but I want to do more. There's always time for more. So I'm going to go back to my NASA window. And I'm going to search for, let's search for Uranus. Uranus, however you like to say it. That's a planet. And there are planets of Uranus here. But Uranus has a moon that I really like. And I remember seeing a picture of this moon. Ooh, right there. South polar view of Miranda. I think Miranda's the name of the moon. Titan is another moon. Oh, Titan's cool, but I want this one. So I'm going to click on South polar view of Miranda. I'll click on download. And let's go ahead. Medium is fine. We'll click the medium. Sweet. I'm going to go ahead and right click, save image as. And I'm already in my desktop collage folder. That's good. I'm going to hit Miranda. And now we'll go back to Photopia. I'm going to go ahead and click on File, Open, and Place. So I'll click on Miranda, click Open, and now Miranda's full size. That's good. And I'm just going to hit Return. I'm going to leave it as that. And I want to get rid of this black outline. So I'm going to take the Miranda in the layers and move it up over Maxilicious so I can see it. And we're going to use another tool here, another selection tool. So if I go back over here where we have these selection tools, and it's like the fourth one down, I'm going to click on it, but I'm going to hold it, and there's this one called Magic Wand. Click on Magic Wand. Magic Wand lets you select something, and boom, look, it just selected all of the black around it. Look at that. Simply, boom, Miranda, all the black. Totally cool. If I select in the middle here, you'll see that it's trying to find the same color pixels, so it has a hard time selecting the moon itself, but the black is good and easy. Now I can make this a little stronger by changing the tolerance up to 30 and then clicking on it, and it's a little bit stronger. It's hard to tell. I'm actually going to, you can also add a feather. Let's make this 20. I'm going to click on to deselect it, click on it to select it, and you'll see it's kind of smooth here. What you won't see is that it's actually, you see these rounded corners? It's got this like really smooth edge. So 20 is a lot for feather. I'm just going to make it 2. I'll select it again to deselect it, then I'll select it. Now, if I hit refine edge, you'll see that what it's doing here is actually deleting the inside from it. And I want to kind of inverse this. I want this to be the opposite. So what I'm going to do is hit X on this instead of OK. Now that I have this selected the way I want, I'm going to go up to Select, Inverse. And now it's selecting everything but that moon. So if I hit Refine Edge, now we can see it's got our good moon action. Looks pretty good. This border's at 3. I'm going to take this to 1 and see how that looks. That looks good. What does the border look like at 0? No, that's too much. Let's make the border 1. That looks good, and I'll click OK. And now, Miranda, let's go back up to our Move tool up top. We just have the moon. So I want to move this behind Maxie's head. I'm going to go ahead and click this and drag this down behind Maxilicious. As you can see, we have the original Miranda moon. I don't want to mix these up, so I'm actually going to create a folder for these changed things. So there's this little folder icon down here at the bottom right. Let me go ahead and bloop, boop, boop. There we go. Bottom right, you'll see these icons, and this one's a folder. If I click on that, it has made a new folder up here. And I can just kind of double click on that folder and call it Original Images. And hit return. Okay, let me zoom back out, get this full screen. So this original images folder, I'm going to click and move this under background. And I'll take this eyeball off Miranda one and click and drag that into that folder. I will do the same thing with this original, well no, the space pick's not what I want, the Maxilicious pick. I'll do it with this and I'll move that there. So I'm not accidentally grabbing a bunch of things that I don't want. Great. Now we'll go back to the Miranda moon. I'll click on that. I'll kind of move it around a little bit. I want this to be bigger, so I'll hit Edit, Free Transform, and I can actually like move it around. Let me hold Shift, move it around, play with it, kind of move it right here. It's starting to look interesting. Let's go ahead and hit Return to like actually place that, but let's try playing with something called blend modes. So if I actually select one of my things here, you can see there's this thing called normal, and I can click on that, and that lets me, it gives me these things. These are the blend mode, so automatically it's set to normal. I can click darken, and it actually adds the dark layers, which is hard to see. Let's go to multiply, so you can see it better. The multiply, it kind of bleeds it into the things below. Color burn, you can try a few different ones. Linear burn, all these will do the darker colors. If I go down, lighten, screen, oh yeah, you got it. It's using the lighter colors. But these ones below, like overlay, this is where it starts to use like multiple different colors. Soft light, hard light. You start getting some interesting looking stuff. Let's go down to vivid light. Ooh, how about linear light? Oh, it's starting to be interesting. What about difference? So difference starts getting us these really weird things. Exclusion, I think hue. Ooh, hue takes out the color from it. Whereas subtraction, or saturation, color. So there's not a lot of color in this image. So I'm just going to change it to overlay so we get this kind of interesting kind of look to it. But I want to add a little color to this image. I want to make it kind of interesting. So we're going to use we're going to go to image adjustments. Image adjustments. And there's this thing called let's see, hue and saturation. If I click on that, this lets me add color and things. So if I bring up saturation, you'll see it suddenly turns red. Let's click on the colorize button. And we can change how saturated that is. We can change the hue, like what color it is, by dragging this. And I kind of like this pinkish purplish. We can make it darker or lighter. And you can see because we're using this and the saturation right about there. It looks pretty cool. So I hit OK. And now this moon has this coloring to it. And now if I start playing with these like multiply and these settings, because there's color in it, it'll start to really kind of give it a different kind of look. Let's try vivid light. Oh, that's super interesting. Let's go ahead and I liked overlay. So overlay kind of was a little subtle. I'm going to put that there. I want to make a copy of this Miranda. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag this over. So let me first show you. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in to this bottom part here. There's this thing right here which makes a new layer. I can click and drag a layer on it and it will copy that layer. So let me go ahead and zoom out a little bit. If I move this, you'll see I have a second Miranda moon. Now I'm going to go to image, adjustment, hue and saturation again with this second one selected, and I'm going to mess with the hue to give it another kind of hue. Oh yeah, that greenish one. We'll bring the saturation up a little bit, but the lightness down. Or, oh, the lightness up, the saturation up. Oh yeah, this is starting to look interesting and weird. And another way to copy layers, I'm going to click on this Miranda again, and I'm going to hold down Alt or Option on Mac and click and drag it, and you'll see it's copying. It makes a copy that drags it and then makes that copy. And so you're seeing all these copies. I'm going to go ahead and once again, image, adjustment, and hue and saturation. Let's change this hue again. I can drag these floating windows elsewhere. Bring the saturation up. I don't know about this hue. Let's give it like a lighter blue. Lightness. Saturation up. Yeah, that looks good. Interesting. And now I can go to some of these, like this blue one. I want it to be smaller, so I'll go to Edit, Free Transform, and I can hold down Shift, and I can kind of mess with this a little bit and start to make it, hit Return. I'll click on this one, Edit, Free Transform, hold down Shift, kind of maybe make this one like super big actually, because it's cool seeing how some of these blend into each other. Like some of it, when different blending colors blend into each other, you get some really interesting stuff. And now this is looking cool. Let me move this one up just a little bit, and let me edit, free transform, and I'll make this one a little bit bigger again. Cool. So we're getting this interesting kind of overlay of stuff, and now I want to paint on this. I want to paint on it. So I'm going to make a new layer by going down over here to the bottom of here, and let me go ahead, Control Z. Let me go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to zoom down, and this little icon for new layer, I'm going to click on it, and it makes a new blank layer wherever I was selected. So let me go ahead and zoom out again. So I'm going to go ahead and rename this layer by double clicking on that layer and calling it Paint. And I'm going to move it just behind Maxilicious and above those Miranda copies of the moon. And I'm going to come over here to my brush tool. And the brush tool looks like a little brush. See? You get a few different things, but let's go ahead and do brush tool. I'm going to zoom back out. And up top here, we have these settings for brush tool. I'm going to go into this one at 15, and that is the brush tool size. So I can bring the size up, and you can see that brush size gets bigger. I can bring it down, and the brush size gets smaller. Sorry for a little bit of this. There we go. So, but the other things I can do is change the type of brush. So let's go to like this one, 76 here, and let's go ahead and bring it up to like 282. Sweet. I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out so we can see it. And we can change our color down here at the bottom left. There's this little color icon, and I'm going to go ahead and make this kind of this, I like this magenta color. I'll hit OK, and I can start drawing, and I can actually paint on. Now it's going a little slow because this is a big brush. Let me go ahead and change the color. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go to kind of a greenish now and hit OK. And now I'm going to color with this green, and it moves a little slow, but that's okay. It's free. So what I want to do, this painting is cool, and let's go ahead and make a little bit of a few blue marks. Yeah, there. I'll hit OK. Make blue on this as well. Now I'm going to go over to this paint layer I made. I'm going to change its color mode, or its blend mode, to, let's say, overlay. Ooh, that's interesting. What else? Maybe vivid light? No, vivid light's too much. Linear light? No, linear light's too much. Hard light? No. I think I was liking overlay. So I'm going to go back to overlay. Oh, I like what it does. This lets me give this like kind of like crazy look to it. And I can go ahead and click on this brush again. Let's get some yellow in there. And oh, I didn't save it. So let's click on that. Click yellow, hit OK. And now I can really start designing this, painting on this to be kind of interesting and weird. Another thing I can do with my brush though, see this blend mode up here? It's very similar. It's the same kind of thing. I'm going to make this color burn, and you'll notice the way, actually let's go ahead and go back to paint and make this normal. The way that it paints stuff on, let's go ahead and change the color. It will actually burn the color into the other colors. So it's like a little bit of a different kind of style. Color burn's not my favorite. What about linear burn? Oh, I love linear burn. Yeah, that works. Let's go ahead and make it really light. Okay. And you'll see it adds some interesting stuff to the colors. All right, I'm going to go back to this and make this back into overlay. And we've got some really strange, really interesting background going on. It might be a bit too intense. Let me go ahead and make one more like sweet deep purplish. Okay. Oh yeah. It might be a little too intense. So we can actually go to the opacity here and click on that and pull it down. And you'll see we can actually make it more or less intense. I like it a little more intense, but not too intense. All right. We can also go through, down here is the eraser tool. I'm going to click on the eraser tool, and you can actually change the brush of the eraser tool as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on like this weird brush that's kind of a line. And on here, I can go ahead and erase some of this to give it some texturing. Let's make this even bigger to like 5 something. Now I don't want to, I'm being a little too much. I can take this eraser tool, I can go to the opacity, instead of 100, I'll bring it down to like 29. And so, let me go ahead and just change this back to normal so you can see what's happening. It's erasing it, but it's erasing it kind of not fully. So if I have to go over the same spot a few times to fully erase it. And so I can use this to make texturing. Let's try another one of these brushes. So I can use this to like actually texture stuff and make it, oh, this is a good one. This one takes a little, yeah, it's a little hard to see. Let's go ahead and bring this up to like 53. This brush is a very textured brush. So you see I'm starting to make texture in this by erasing, which is a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and make this back to overlay. And now it's starting to look cool. I'm going to bring the opacity up because I feel like with this kind of erasiness, it's pretty cool. I'm going to add another new layer above the paint layer. So this, I'm going to click the new layer button, layer 1, and I'm going to call this Maxi Paint. And I'm going to drag this above Maxilicious. So it's over Max. I'm going to go back to my paintbrush tool. Let's go to this 99 right here. And let's go ahead and got that on the paintbrush tool, opacity's up. Let's go ahead and paint over Maxi. So you can see it's just like these lines right now. Let's experiment. I just painted a few lines. Let's paint a couple more and make it just like a different color of blue. Ooh, I am accidentally painting. What is going on here? Oh, I have it set to linear burn. Let's set that back to normal. There we go. Oh, actually, I liked linear burn. Let's go back to linear burn. So, like, yeah, I like that brush color linear burn. Let's go back to the color, get more of that magenta, see how that kind of comes into it. All right, so I'm painting on top of Maxi. Let's go to this blending mode. Let's look at some of them. Darken. I like multiply a lot. Color burns a little much. Linear burns a little much. Overlay is okay. Soft light. Ooh, I like soft light on this. Yeah. Okay. Let's texture this brush up more. Let's go to a different brush. I'm going to go to this one that says number 50 here. This is that really textured one. I'm going to bring it up in size. And it's a little harder to see. Let's make this yellow. Let's go to the brush. Brush settings, yellow. Okay. And, oh yeah. And now I'm going to change my blend mode up here to normal again. So this is kind of on top of everything. Oh yeah, so now Maxi, the coolest, greatest dog in the whole wide world, and now I'm going to use this kind of texture brush in a few different colors, okay, to really kind of paint on him to give him some of that sweet, sweet paint action. I want some green in there. Oh yeah, Maxi, you look sickness. You look super rad sickness. Let me give a little more of that magenta. Oh, let's get some actual reddish in there. Some hot pinkish red. Yeah. Oh, Maxi, my space dog is like spacing out. It's a little intense on him, so I'm gonna go to the opacity here. Take it down just a scotch. Yeah, to like 78. I'm feeling pretty happy with this. So now all I want to do is add a little bit of text to make this thing totally shine. I'm gonna hit my selection tool. Let's see. Oh, no, the text tool right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on there, and you see it makes a new text layer. And I'm going to type in space dog. Now, it's hard to see because it's all in black and it's super tiny. Like, see, right there, space dog. So I'm going to go up to this window here called character. And let's make this size really big. And I can change, that's the size. So it pops out a character window. Deja vu sans, not what I want. I'm going to click on this, and this lets me look at different fonts. Now, I saw a font in here the other day I really liked. There's Distant Galaxy, which looks very like outer space. But there was one that, right there, Dubtronic. Dubtronic Inline. That's what I want. So, I'm going to make sure I have space, Dubtronic Inline, my size. Now, I can hover over the word size, and it lets me click and drag this up. Look at that, Space Dog. Now, I'm going to double click. Oh, no, it won't let me. I'm going to click on my text tool. I'm going to click in this, so space is there. I'm going to hit return, and I'm actually going to delete that space there. So it's space dog like that, and I can see it. If we go to the paragraph window, we can center it. We can right justify it, do all sorts of stuff. I liked it left justified, so I'm going to leave it left justified, but I want less space between these. So if I go back to character, there's something called leading, and leading is at 0 right now. I can turn off auto. And that's kind of messed up. I'm going to go ahead and click on this word leading and drag it. And you can see I can actually drag how much space there is. That looks pretty good. So 287 looked good. And I want this to be a bit bigger, so I'm going to take the size up a little more. And that means I need to adjust the leading a little more. Space dog, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm about it. Sweet. I'm going to close this character. I'm going to go over to the Maxi. So now I want to move Maxilicious over, but if I do that, if I select Maxilicious, let's just turn off the eyeball on Space Dog so we don't accidentally select it. You'll notice that I accidentally move the paint from him. Let me hit Control Z to edit undo that. So I want these two, Max Paint and Maxilicious, to be one layer now. So I'm going to select Maxi Paint, hold down Shift, select Maxilicious, and now these are both selected. I can right click on it, and there is something called Merge Layers. When I click that, it makes them the same layer. Sweet. So I can move Maxi Paint over just a little bit, and he looks amazing. And then I can turn Space Dog back on, which looks amazing. And now I want to play with this a little more. So the word Space Dog, I want it to be behind Max. And I might go to my Maxi Paint and make this a little bit, like move him down just a little bit. I like some of the stuff him being in front of it. I think it's a cool look, but I want to get this sort of perfect. Yeah, that looks good. So Space Dog is here. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this Space Dog. I'm going to click and drag that word Space Dog down to that little icon right there, the one with the little fold over it, to make a copy of the layer. And I'm going to move this copy under Space Dog and select that copy. I'm going to go back to the character window and I'm going to go to my character style. And there's this second version of the same one, and it's Dubtronic Inline. I'm going to select that one to Dubtronic. So there we go. That's solid. And now we can see it's filled in solid. I'm going to go back up to that. And I'm going to adjust the color of this. So baseline shift. Next to that is like a little color thing. And I can adjust the color. Oh, look at that. The good magenta. Love that good magenta. I'm going to hit OK. And Space Dog is now like that. And this one underneath it, let's go to the blending modes. Let's say darken. Ooh, that's not bad. Multiply's not bad. Overlay is a bit much. I'm going to go to darken. I liked this at darken. So we get this like tint or color burn, linear burn. You can see I'm constantly testing stuff out. Let's go to, multiply looks good actually. Let's multiply that. And so that looks pretty cool, but I want a little more craziness to Space Dog. So I'm going to go back to this top Space Dog. That's the black outline. I'm going to go ahead and I want to duplicate this. So I'm going to click and drag that down to that same icon. I'm going to leave that duplicate on top. And I'm going to go to this color here. And I'm going to change this to like a yellow. Let's go yellow. Cool. I'll hit OK. And now I'm going to move this above Maxi. And then I'm going to go to my color modes. Not darken. Let's look at like color dodge. Too much. Linear dodge. Lighter color. Overlay. Let's actually do overlay. And with Space Dog selected, I'm going to hit the arrow keys on my keyboard a few times. And you can see that's moving it over kind of pixel by pixel and giving it this sort of offset. If I hold down shift, it'll do 10 pixels at a time. That looks pretty cool. I'm going to do that. I'm going to copy that Space Dog again up there. And I'm going to change the color again to kind of like a bluish. Let's make it a darker bluish. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to hit shift and kind of move it over some more. Ooh, there we go. We're getting that blue. Let's try it different. Let's try soft light. No. Vivid light. Too much. Pin light. Oof. Let's go to linear burn. Ooh, linear burn looks kind of cool on this one. Or let's go to color dodge. I do like color dodge on this, and I can kind of move it around. It's a little too much, so what I'm going to do is take down the opacity on this one a little bit. So Space Dog, and if I'm being honest, let's go ahead and close that. This should all be behind his head. I don't like it anything, so I'm going to take Maxi Paint and move it to the top again. And I think I need to adjust his size a little bit to make him... So yeah, I'm going to go to Edit, Free Transform. I'm going to hold down Shift and make him a little smaller. Make him a little bigger than that. Space Dog. Yeah, that's starting to feel pretty cool. Hit return. Now I'm going to do a few little extra things to finish this off and to kind of, move this just a little, to finish this off and make it all kind of solidified together. So I want to add what I call compositing effects. I'm going to start by making a new layer. Boom. I'm going to come over here all the way to the left. And I'll zoom in just a little bit. This is the gradient tool right here. If I click and hold it down, you'll see gradient and paint bucket. Keep it on gradient. I'm going to hit, let me zoom out again, and I'm going to go up top to the settings. So right now the setting is to the color I have down here. I'm going to click on this drop down, and you'll see there's this black and white setting. Except for what I really want is the opposite, but I'll show you how that works. I'm going to go to linear right here and change this to radial. So with layer 1 selected, let's go ahead and rename that by double clicking, and I'm going to call this vignette. I can click and drag and it will make a radial gradient vignette. But the problem with this one is the black's in the middle. I want the black around the edges. So I'm going to go up to my vignette up here and click on it. And by clicking on it, I can change around these colors. So I'm going to click on the white at the bottom here. I'm going to click on the white color and make that black. I'm going to click on the black on the left, click on the color down here and make that white. Hit OK, OK. And now if I click and drag out, boom, that's more what I want. Let's make a little bit of a gradient here. And now to make this like an actual, that's too much, an actual vignette, it's really easy to just kind of experiment here. So, right about there. Nice. To make this a vignette, I got to change the actual overlay mode, or the blend mode. I'm going to change it to darken. Now, multiply. Multiply, ooh, overlay. Yeah, I like that. It's a little too much, so I'm going to take the opacity down to about 65. And it's kind of bringing everything together. But I also want to give it a little bit of a grungy look. So with my vignette selected, I'm going to go into Filter, Noise, Add Noise. And you'll see, let's go ahead and like really bring that amount up. I can really make it crazy, and you can see that it's getting really gritty. I can hit monochrome and it will be black and white noise instead of color noise. I can change the distributor to a Gaussian, which is like another kind of blurrish sort of thing. I'm going to go ahead and do the Gaussian so it has a little bit of like edge to it. 182% is a little too much. I want it gritty, but I don't want it like hideous. 45 looks, let's go to 39. 39 looks good. Let's hit OK. So now we've got this gritty space dog thing. I totally like it, but I want to add one more thing. I want to add some color to bring it all together. So I'm going to go down to my menu over here. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Right here, you see this thing right here. This creates an adjustment layer. I'm going to click New Adjustment Layer, and I'm going to go to Photo Filter. Let me go ahead and zoom out, and you'll notice it put a new photo filter above everything, and everything's kind of like this orangish color now. And you'll see under Properties menu here, we can change the density of this, or how like strong it is. Now, right now it's like this orange color, and it takes up too much of my other colors that I put in there. So I can change that color by clicking on the color here, and I can move it around. And let's try like this blue, hit OK. So yeah, the more we put in there, the more it takes out the color and overlays this other color. But I don't want it too dense. Blue's okay. Let's try like a yellow. Okay. Oh yeah, yellow helps. It like leaves enough colors, and it's kind of like a dull yellow. Let's go back into this yellow. Let's make it a little more dull. Take out some of that color, make it a little more white. Whoops. Let's go back to the yellow, make it a little more white, hit OK. And now, yeah, it helps kind of draw everything together. There's this Preserve Luminance button, which let's go ahead and make this really, like you'll see that like it keeps it bright by doing that. I'm going to keep this at about 32. That looks good to me. And we have Space Dog. And maybe just to like separate Maxi from the other stuff, I'll use a little effect. So I'm going to go to Maxi Paint here, and down here you'll see EFF, and these are effects. I'm going to click on EFF, and I'm going to go Outer Glow. Let's go ahead and zoom back out a little bit. Now this pops up a menu, and you see there's this little outer glow on him. So I can take this size way up, and you can see this like glow gets really big. I'm going to take the noise value on the glow up too. Not too noisy, but I like the noise on this. I'm going to take the opacity down a little bit. Yeah, let's go ahead. What's the spread going to do? The spread does too much. I'm going to keep spread at 0, and I can take the size up even more actually, and the opacity down a little more. So I'm going to hit OK on this. So now it's like there's this glowy edge behind him. If I click on Max Paint, you'll see that there's this extra little menu here, and I can click on it, and I can turn on and off the eyeball on the glow. So this looks really good. And now I'm ready to save it, and I'm ready to show people my Space Dog. So I'm going to go to File. Now there's Save as PSD, and that will save it as a Photoshop document. So and as you can see, it downloaded it. So when it saves it, I'm going to go Show in Folder, and you'll see it saves it to the Downloads folder. I can go ahead and move that to my collage folder on my desktop. Let me navigate to that. Desktop, collage. Whoops, let me go back. Sorry. Desktop. Where's my desktop? There we go. Desktop, collage folder. I can just click and drag it into that. And if I go back to my collage folder, I can space and you'll see there it is. I can double click to open this up and it will open it in Photoshop. So I can send this to somebody who prefers to use Photoshop if they want to post the doggo pic. And it's awesome. Hold on. Photoshop popped up on my other screen. And I'll pull it over here and you can see this is Adobe Photoshop. And if you look at it, boop, 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 sorry. Here is my doggo pic. And as you can see, the menus on this and this are super similar. But it has all the layers that I had. So all my layers are actually down here. You can see my layers menu. It doesn't have the font, but that's okay. I'm going to X this out because I don't need it. But if you don't have Photoshop, you can also go to File, Export As. I'm going to export it as a JPEG, which is pretty common. A JPEG file, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit. We can see the preview. So I can take the quality of the JPEG up to make it bigger, and you'll see 3.7 megabytes. That's pretty big. So at like 75, it's a pretty good size. So that's like half a megabyte. All right, I'm going to hit save, and it automatically saves it to downloads. So it's also going to save into that one spot, but I can go ahead and just click it and drag it into there, and you'll see I have my doggo collage as a JPEG, as a single file. Now it no longer has layers, and I can post this anywhere I want. I can also export layers. So let's go ahead and export layers as JPEG, quality 7, that's good. Let's export layers. Oh, hold on. No layers, only layers / folders whose names start with E-. Okay, so I actually have to make these, I have to change the name on these to export as layers. -E-. Well, let me see if I can uncheck that. Export layers, there we go. By unchecking that, it looks like it allows me to, and now it takes a little bit longer to download that, so I can hit X. It downloaded it as a zip file, so I'm going to open up that zip file, and what it did, let me actually go to Show in Folder, and let me quickly extract this zip file. So a zip file is kind of a compressed thing with a folder with a lot of stuff. And what this did was it saved each picture that I had in that as its own separate picture and layer, so I can use it for different stuff. So every layer is a picture now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I think this is awesome. I think this is a really awesome tool, and I know this was a longer tutorial, but it was you can do so much with it, and it's free, and it's online, so you don't have to install stuff. So I hope y'all have fun with this one. I hope you have great time making collages, making designs, editing photos, and you explore it even more. All right, peace, yins. Have a good one.